Morning everyone in Garden County, Bray, Wicklow, Greystones, wherever you are. I'm here in Bray. This is Hollybrook. Holly, there's loads of them in there. It's an oak woodland on the southern edge of Bray, next to the Southern Cross Road and Hollybrook housing estate, which was built in the mid to late 90s. Over 100 houses. The woodland is actually a good example of retention of urban green infrastructure, as we call it, or urban forestry woodland, retained as a wedge heading within the catchment of the Swan River between the housing estate and, I'll just switch around you there through that shelter belt of, I think they're willow. You'll see the industrial units, so there's a large industrial park. I think it's called South Bray South Business Park. But back to the trees in the woodland, I've been doing some planting here. This is an extended area, I suppose you could consider, as where the woodland is very slowly colonising rough grassland and sedge out to a monoculture, unfortunately, of about 200 linear metres. You can hear the sound of traffic, so that monoculture of laurel with another monoculture on the other side of the Southern Cross route of cypress. But the biodiversity is happening within here. This is where it's at. You can possibly hear the bird song. It's the eve, or there's the morning of Storm Kathleen on the west coast. Yellow warnings, orange warnings for Waterford, right up southwestwards and west to Mayo. But in Wicklow it's actually fairly calm. Temperature's about 10-11 degrees Celsius. So within the woodland itself there's actually quite a good diverse range of shrub and tree species, from bird cherry to the senescent oak, which is coming in here in among alder, but it's kind of minimal. I've been planting some oak further west, which is that way. So there is a desire line. The public do come in here. So in terms of what you might call local sociology, there isn't much evidence of antisocial behaviour here at this northern end of the, think of it, the whole woodland as a kind of simple rectangle heading backwards towards the Killarney estate. But further in, there is substantial evidence of antisocial activity, the usual syndrome, beer parties, trolleys in the stream, that kind of thing. At the moment, in the next week, there will be a meeting locally about the Swan River catchment, a report that was commissioned by the Bray Tidy Town. So we go into that and trying to find some people who might be interested in helping me with tree work generally in the town of Bray. But for the moment, I'm just enjoying the beautiful, relatively dry. It is a very wet ground here, but there's no stuff falling from the sky at the moment. And this is my companion. This guy's been living here for the last few weeks, both in the woodland. It's just disappearing there. Both in the woodland and now in this rough grassland. Just to give you an idea of the scale of this before I go, this is roughly, it's certainly longer than a full senior GAA pitch. It's about that length and a half again. So approximately 250 linear metres, maybe a bit under, and then width-wise it's about 40 metres wide, so it's quite substantial. There is gorse moving in, and of course gorse is a fire hazard. But the gorse seems to struggle a little bit because the ground is very wet, as you can see from the sedges. It is waterlogged. Further back towards the woodland I've been planting in alder and willow and the usual appropriate species for very wet ground. So that's it for now. You can actually see some nice willow coming. Pussy willow's been doing its thing with its catkins for the last 2 or 3 weeks. And this is the route I'm following, this desire line or track, which is used by dog walkers. Got a nice local guy here walking his dog last Saturday. So that takes you into the woodland then. And the ground level, the topography is quite simple. You're down into the floodplain, so it drops about 2.5 metres from the rough grassland level down into that. And once you get in there, it's quite magical, and there are loads of hollies around. Ground flora, primrose, dog violet, and of course the birds.